There's a couple of trends. I mean, I'd say first of all, a really big trend, it's kind of hot, but it's called going to work. So what I mean by that is there's been a number of years where everybody thought that all of our technology would let us not have to go to work, and actually the very opposite thing has happened, that people are going back into the place where they want to be with each other. I would say that is one trend. I would say another trend, and this is maybe perhaps not as much of a trend, but more of a concern, that people have concerns when they're in an environment that's either too enclosed, but then they have equal concern when they're in environments that are too open. So I'd say there's definitely the beginning of an outcry against having everything so open that they don't feel that they really can be as effective as they want to be. It's a bit of a misnomer to think that put everybody out in the open and they'll collaborate more. You know, sometimes one of two things happen. It's so noisy they can't stand it, then they all go home. Or sometimes it's too quiet because everybody's afraid to talk. You know, so I would say those are emerging issues as much as they are trends. How we figure those out is what we have to work on for the next bit of time. I think now there's a different issue. It's when most organizations, one of the biggest things they're worried about is talent. I think when you have the skills that organizations need right now, you know that you have a lot of choices in where you can go and work. And so I think that they, for that reason, they're more vocal about everything. The workplace is one of those things. And then that's why organizations are listening, and they know they need to do something about it. Actually, both digital transformation or digitization, there's actually even more need for workers to be together. I think sometimes people feel it's solely about the technology, but actually when most transformations fail is when the companies haven't realized that it's just as much about the culture you create, it's as much about sometimes changing how people work together, you know, how they collaborate or how they make decisions. And so I think those are the reasons why bringing people together in an environment where we often say place shapes behavior. Behavior over time is culture. So that's where understanding how you need to shape the work environment can actually help some of those transformations be more successful. Well, when we say, you don't have to go to work, then that depends on what you think work is. So you certainly don't have to go to work to do individual work, but you have to go to work to do the things that require a team of people working together. So, it's the team of people. I mean, one person may have a brilliant idea. It takes a whole team of people to actually bring it to fruition or commercialization. So that kind of work is going to have to continue to be in a place where people are going to come together. And the fact that machines will be able to do so much more of that individual work than we've ever done before, I mean, that actually frees us up to make the work that we do together in the workplace different type of work, and the type of work that machines can't do yet, that only humans can do. There's a couple of things. I mean, first of all, I would use a framework, or you should use a framework, that thinks through how you have some spaces that are private, some that are shared by teams, you have some that are owned by teams, and some that might be shared by teams. So that's a different way of thinking about space. And then I would say overall, should really take the time to be very thoughtful about well-being. But when I say well-being, it's not just physical well-being. That matters a lot. And throughout a day, we need to sit, we need to stand, we need to perch. But also think about what people need emotionally. Not nearly enough organizations think about that. And then the third one is what people need cognitively. And I would say not enough companies think about what their people need to actually think. So if you understand the creative process and you understand how people could be really successful, then you're going to start thinking about where and the kinds of spaces that they could be more successful in. And those are probably the key things that we should think about. Now, another one is technology. So the last thing I would say is, thinking about how the place could better leverage the technologies that we use today is key. But then as we become more smart and connected in offices, thinking about how technology could better sense and therefore leverage place, that's equally important. I think these needs have existed for a long time, and even if you started working in 1972 versus you started working just a couple of years ago, I think the fundamental needs are the same. People want to do a good job, and they want to go to a place where they have the right tools and the right resources to do a good job. Now, I think people are more vocal right now, and I also think that we're able to express some of those needs differently because of the impact that technology is having on us. I mean, in our personal lives, we've become a society of critics, curators, co-creators. We're very used to doing that with personal things. So I think it's not much longer that people will tolerate not being able to be a curator, a co-creator of their own space.